Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Another week, another episode of The Word Made Fresh. And look, we're in the church building. Do you hear the echo? We'll look at all the fantastic guests. Reverend Dr. Leah Fowler, Dr. Jillian, I've never had to say your last name out loud. Langford, there it is. And Reverend Jabe Zeno. Jabe and I are the two non-doctors. There we go.
I feel like we should high five too.
Okay, the reason we have mega team for The Word Made Fresh is because this coming Sunday is Pageant Sunday, and this is the team who has been hard at work for, how long have you been at work for this coming Sunday's pageant?
I think we started beginning of November.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 6-7 weeks or so.
Or so.
I did not mean to do that.
I think that Jillian got here and we were like, oh, the pageant's coming.
Yeah.
Right after you.
So welcome to Riverside, make a pageant.
I'm making my directorial debut here at Riverside.
And you had welcome back from having a baby. The pageant is coming. And you had...
They gotta have more colleagues. Let's do a pageant.
Okay, so just give us what can we expect this coming Sunday with the pageant?
Well, this whole nave is going to be transformed. We have a set that's coming in. We have young people dressed as shepherds and as magi and as Mary and as Joseph and as lots of little barnyard creatures to give us this pageant that they have had a large part in producing themselves.
And we also have, we didn't do this last year at least, we have a youth section of the pageant and a younger kids section of the pageant. So okay. The youth are writing and creating, I think, the first scene of the pageant, which features notably a biblically accurate angel, so to speak. And
I'm quite excited already.
And I think it's going to be fun.
Okay, so I was going to ask, how is this different than last year? Is this just like new characters, same story? But it sounds like it's a lot of like, let's make it for the moment or for this expression of who we are.
Yeah, the youth scene certainly was created by the kids through this sort of improv process based on the story of the angel coming to visit Mary. And then I think the youth, I can't speak to how the younger kids part was created, but I'm sure Minister Jillian can.
Yeah, we started with a pretty bare bones script of the nativity story as you've been told since you were, a child. And we spent at least 2 weeks in church school talking with the young people, asking them what resonated with them in this script, what didn't make sense, and they brought some of their own insights into it. So it is presented as the nativity story as you've heard it, but interpreted through the lens of young people, which I think is what makes this so special, so relevant. It has its funny moments, but also still captures kind of the joy, the hope, the peace, the wonder that comes with the story that we're experiencing every year during Advent leading up to Christmas.
And Leah, you said we have different people leading parts of the service.
Yeah, one of our goals in the education and formation ministry is to help equip children and youth to experience worship more fully. And so we'll have Reverend Thorne giving the pastoral prayer, and that will lead into one of our young children leading the Lord's Prayer. And, usually the younger children leave after the message for all ages, so they're not there typically for the Lord's Prayer. So we had actually some conversations between the child and her mother, about what these words actually mean. And I think it's going to be an experience that she'll remember for many years, having led the Lord's Prayer in worship in the nave. So we also have we kind of booted who was scheduled for the scripture reading. Sorry, it's like, hey, can we get some kids to do this? They're doing the scriptures. One of them is taking part in the benediction, and they're doing the music, much of the music. So we've got the Riverside Strings, which is intergenerational. And it has some children and youth in it, as well as adults playing orchestra music. We've got the cherub choir, and they're going to be the little stable animals. And
that's like a Riverside standard, I think.
Yes.
There are like 20-year-olds who sang that as a 2-year-old.
Yes, it's the same song that always gets sung by the cherubs. And then the older children's choir and youth choir will sing in their will be choreographed movement to go with their songs.
What? So we got so much going on here. I just love, again, this is an example of, we don't just have one youth Sunday a year. You know, Children's Sabbath happened in October. Why are we doing all this? It's like, yes, we have every Sunday when young people are present in every aspect, but it's nice when there's like, let's make a day that they just kind of absorb all the things and we all get to experience it. That shapes the community in so many different ways.
Yes.
Big time.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't grow up in a church where that happened. It was kind of like grown-ups thing, kids leave to go do their thing. Like what, I mean, this is for you. You have the PhD in this. What difference does it make when young people are actually invited into all aspects of the thing that is typically just for, you know, grown-ups?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is going to be the academic answer you want, but speaking from my own experience being one of these kids who was, you know, quote unquote, booted from church, I felt like entering into ministry, it felt like this big mysterious thing. And I quickly learned as I was studying theology, oh, this isn't meant to be mysterious. This is meant to be the very fabric of my spirituality. This is supposed to be the place that I feel most comfortable to be myself, to be with my community, and to be with my God. And so I think by not just inviting young people to be in the space, but invite them to create and curate a worship experience for their community, is inviting them into a different kind of mystery. Not this isn't accessible to me kind of mystery, but this is, I get to, even as a young person, be a leader in this community. My voice gets to be heard and shared and listened to, which I think can be so challenging for, you know, a young person. We have kids as young as pre-K who are going to be leading this congregation in worship through their participation in this pageant.
I love it. It's those become memories that those kids will have. It shapes their own faith and imagination and participation for their lifetime, and it impacts all of us who, I was a kid once, and it helps us tap into that inner wonder and all those things as well that hopefully we haven't quite lost. Yeah. We might have lost touch with it, but we haven't lost it.
That's something I get from the feedback I hear from the adults in the church about seeing the children and the youth there. It touches something in them that, who knows, maybe reminds them of the child they once were, or helps to care for the child they once were. And also seeing these children welcomed and included in their full being also models the kinds of welcome that we want for any marginalized group in the church and in our society.
Absolutely. It's easy to think that, you know, working with children and youth and young people is like just, okay, spiritual babysitting. But it's like, there's an advocacy and a justice work to it. They are, you know, how many teenagers, Jabe, are just like swimming in this world around us, and like you are the one here who's going to be most connected to them, helping us all connect to them. That's not just like high fives and movie nights. It's, you know, true, long-lasting intergenerational justice work that we all get to participate in.
Yeah, and I think like Reverend Leah and Minister Jillian are saying, I think it including children and including young people in worship changes the worship in a way that I think is good for everyone, right? I think we're all aware of the ways that the church, not speaking of Riverside specifically, but the capital C church has often been a gatekeeper that, you know, keeps people away from God's grace as much as inviting people into it. And so I think by modeling inclusiveness in the way we engage young people, I think it models and shows God's inclusiveness to everybody as well.
And I believe it kind of returns to the way the church once was. I think it's a very Western and possibly very white way of pushing the children off to the side to do their own thing, rather than having them in the fullness of worship. You know, there's an Ethiopian church that worships in our chapel on Sunday mornings, and the children are a full part of that. And so, you know, it's normal to have children doing childlike things in the middle of a worship service. And I'm glad to see this church starting to really embrace that.
Well, I mean, you all are foundational to this chapter we keep turning pages in at Riverside. I know there's lots of the story of why do we have such a thriving, you know, family ministry has a lot of pages to it, but I think you are all such an essential aspect to it now. I mean, the Message for All Ages being a weekly staple I love that, it's not too far back that's like, why would we do that every week kind of response. And now it's like, that has to happen every week is the expectation. And to me, that's just one of those little drops of like, look what happens when we actually make a space for all ages. It might not be for you. That's okay. The beauty of a buffet is every meal wasn't made for you, but everyone has something they can enjoy and something new you can try and be like, I don't like that, or I didn't know I loved that. Yeah.
Well, and I love calling what I think can sometimes be seen as the children's message, the message for all ages, because it is just that. It's for all ages. You might come into worship one day and nothing resonates with you about the music or the sermon, but there can be this moment that reaches something inside of you, this part of your inner child that is seeking some joy, some wholeness, and that can be found in the message for all ages, even if it wasn't necessarily tailored for you. There is still something that anyone can take from that moment.
Yep. I love it. They're always my favorite parts.
Me too.
Nothing against the actual sermons that happen up there, but the message for all ages in my mind is the actual sermon.
Well, and I asked the children and their leaders whether, since the pageant is a sermon and that the children and youth are leading that, do we need a message for all ages? And the response was like, absolutely. Like that's the most important part of the service. And, in their memories, I think it's been going on forever, but it's really a relatively new thing in our church.
There was a season when we did it during the summer at Riverside because we didn't have children's church programming. And then I think it's just over a year now that it's been happening in the Sunday morning service every single Sunday. So it's like 16 months old. Wow. It's barely a newborn out of the newborn diapers still, but it feels like it's just been a thing we do.
And they get a chance to make relationships with all the ministers, including you.
Yeah.
You were last week leading it, and you're not typically here physically on Sundays. So they definitely responded to what you had to share.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, last thing. What roles have you played in Christmas pageants, Leah?
I got to sing a solo my senior year of high school as Mary, and before that I was like a tree, or like a non-speaking animal or whatever, and just all these other people got chosen for the major roles, and but yeah, it was scary, but it meant a lot. Yeah.
Jay, what about you?
I feel like I was usually in a narrator role. Yeah.
I can feel that. You got good narrator vibes.
I think I've only ever played Mary, which feels like a flex.
Oh, darn. Oh, Christmas Eve. We should say that because that is like 3 days after. If people want more nativity, what's coming up next?
Oh, this is my first Christmas at Riverside, but I'm excited to take part in the 4:00 family Christmas Eve service. Many of the clergy will be dressed.
Yeah, what are you going to be in that? Are you? Is this Mary and Joseph?
Yes.
Sure is.
Of course, you have to be.
I have to be.
Yeah. Jillian is only Mary. You're a new dad, so you're prepared for Joseph.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
So we have the family's Christmas Eve service at 4 p.m., which is basically a group Christmas pageant done by the grown-ups, essentially. And then the more
with singing. I'll be singing.
With lots of singing. Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, I'll summon that 12th grader who got to sing in the
Yes. So you're all reliving your narrator. You turned into Joseph. So you've got promoted, maybe? I don't know.
It's just a shift, a change in roles. Yeah.
Father of the infant Christ, small task. Stepdad, I guess we could say. Yeah.
The dad that stepped up.
Ooh, that's it.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Yeah. All right. That's on what day is Christmas Eve? Wednesday. Tuesday. Wednesday. I should know these things. I have kids. Christmas Eve, Wednesday, 4 p.m. That's online as well and on site. So 4 p.m. Join us however you can. And then there's a 7 o'clock traditional lessons and carols.
They're your lessons and carols.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And then all the Sundays keep happening. So we'll be back. More of this. Thanks for hanging out and pondering the theological questions of pageants.
Thanks.
Fantastic. You guys are great.
Thanks, Jim.
We're fun.
Thank you.
You make it easy.
Yeah.